This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
The health system is supposed to be devoid of human forms.
You found something.
Yes, my lord.
That's it. The rebels are there.
But it has entered an asteroid field and we cannot risk...
Asteroids do not concern me, Admiral. I want that ship, not excuses.
What about Leia and the Wookiee?
They must never again leave this city.
That was never a condition of our agreement, nor was giving hand to this bounty hunter.
Perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly? No. I am your father.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Welcome to Coffee with Kenobi, your family-friendly, spoiler-free Star Wars podcast where intelligent conversation, a splash of humor, and a warm cup of galactic goodness bring fans together from across the galaxy. I'm your host, Dan Zehr. Whether you're a lifelong Jedi Master or just hopped off your first Star Cruiser, grab your caf and join us as we explore the mythology, philosophy, and wonder of a galaxy far, far away, one conversation at a time. Thank you to the official travel partner of CWK, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. Check out coffeewithkenobi.com/mousefantravel for a no-cost, no-obligation quote, and let them know Coffee with Kenobi and Dan Zehr sent you. We've got a great show for you today. Fanhome's Gianluca Latini joins me to talk about the Build Your Own Darth Vader model kit. That is an amazing subscription service that happens to come with a magazine written by myself. I am the head writer of this incredible magazine, so proud to be a part of it, and I wanted you to hear about what goes into the making of this incredible subscription service with this 1:2 scale Darth Vader from The Empire Strikes Back and the Star Wars magazine written by me. Let's set the coordinates for Star Wars discussion. Here we go. Joining us today on Coffee with Kenobi is Luca Latini. He is the North American and UK Managing Director for Fanhome. Luca, welcome to Coffee with Kenobi.
Hey, Dan. Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm very excited. It was nice to catch up with you a little bit before we started. And I can tell right away we're going to be fast friends. Your passion is already very evident to me. And I would like to start the show. I'd love to hear kind of about your history with Star Wars and when you kind of became a fan of this franchise.
Well, this is going to give away a little bit my age, but it was on a fall of 1977. I grew up in Italy. I was in a small town in central Italy, and in a home where my dad was the chief sci-fi buff. He was a real nerd. We grew up with Asimov, and that was mandatory reading for me and my sister. So the movie was already a sensation in Italy. The ripple effects from the summer launch in US had gotten there, but this was like pre-TikTok, pre-social media. So for a kid like me, I didn't know anything about the movie. And I knew that my father was taking me there. I knew that it was sci-fi, it was space stuff, and it was going to be a lot of ships. At the time, without major approval from my dad, I was big fan, smitten by Space 1999. It's a TV series that came out a few months before, and I was absolutely obsessed with the Moonbase Alpha. I was in love with Dr. Russell, and the only toy that I ever wanted, that I peppered my father with requests, was a replica of the Eagle spaceships. So going in, I was telling my dad, I'm going to love it, but it's never going to be as good as Space 1999. I was telling him, please wait. And then as soon as the light went out, I remember as it was today, because it was a physical and metaphysical experience for me. The light went out, the score came on, the far, far away galaxy description started rolling in, and then there was that rumble that I still remember the Imperial Destroyer chasing Princess Leia's Tantive 4, the ship.
Yes.
And that rumble that basically was shaking me inside out, and the whole screen was full of this gigantic ship, and it was shot from underneath. It was incredible. I was 7 years old, and I was shaking. I was nervous. I was like sweating, and from there on, it was just a crescendo of emotions. All the characters came on, and a minute into the opening scene, Darth Vader came on and was scaring the hell out of me. I'll never forget about it. Never forget about it. I think at one point my dad was a little bit worried because I was literally shaking. He still remembers. My dad is old, still alive, and he calmed me down, got me some extra Coke, and then we stayed for the second show. So I saw it back to back, and been in love. Never forgot the experience ever since.
What a beautiful story. We're of a very similar generation. I saw it in 1978 when I was almost 6. I saw it at a drive-in movie theater in New Orleans,
Wow.
Louisiana, and I've never had anyone explain it as like a literal metaphysical experience, because that is exactly the way to describe it. So you obviously have loved it ever since, which is so cool for me as a fan and as a collector. And then we have Fanhome. And Fanhome makes these products that are just amazing, but I'm not going to describe it. I'm here with the expert to kind of talk about what Fanhome is and what makes Fanhome so unique.
So Fanhome is a brand that was created sort of a span-off of long-established Italian global brand in collectibles, which is the Agostini. And Fanhome, we're going to go a little bit into the history of the Agostini.
Please.
But Fanhome itself was created in 2020, and the objective was to appeal to pop culture fans and collectors all over the world. Through the Agostini, through the history of the Agostini, and the partnerships that we have with almost every major entertainment licensor out there, we have been developing large-scale models for the past 25 years, basically. And at one point, we realized that a growing portion of these models were fan-based. So we created a home for fans of these products, very, very focused home, where different fandoms sort of coexist. And what makes it special is there are very basic points. One is, as I said, the depth of the catalog. If you browse through fanhome.com, you see the amazing, the number of the products that we have is simply amazing. The number of new releases that we have every single month, which is mind-boggling if you think about it. And all of these are basically linked with very high valuable IPs from the major studios and entertainment studios around the world. Then all of this is combined with a unique business model. I mean, not that collection, subscription, or continuity is that unique or everybody knows about it, but it's the fact that basically we merge subscription and continuity with collectibles and collection, and it turns into this like long immersive experience that lasts over time and brings the fan to through different steps until the final product. And that there's very little, there are very few other brands, I will say none, that can give you that kind of experience. Then the scale of the models, the details, they're so incredibly intricate. The final product of a build-up, what we call a model kit, is truly museum quality. But it's done in a way that it's easier to assemble than most model kits, traditional model kits out there. And the last part, Don, is the part where you have been a fantastic partner with us, which is the editorial component. So everything that we do, every product, every collection comes with exclusive editorial content that we develop internally. The Agostini is at heart a publishing company, continues to be a publishing company. So every collection has an average of 1,500 to 2,000 pages of content. We're going to be talking about Darth Vader 1:2 scale model in this conversation. And when you complete our collection, you're going to have this fantastic statue model of, over 3 feet tall, but you're also going to have an encyclopedia, Star Wars encyclopedia, with 2,000 pages that you can bound together, taken from a very unique angle, which is the angle of the villains, the criminals, the smugglers, the traitors from every angle of the galaxy. So truly unique. So
if I
have to sum it up, Fanhome is this mix of fandom, nostalgia, craftsmanship that is both hand-on and narrative driven. So.
Fanhome is, and I mean this, I wouldn't even be saying, I've been saying this anyway. Fanhome is a dream because, as you so eloquently just stated, you go online, there are several different options to choose from. We're working together on the build your own Darth Vader, but there's a Millennium Falcon, there's an R2-D2.
Yes.
So every few weeks, you get this model kit, as you mentioned, in the mail. And it's packaged beautifully. It's got some individual pieces. The first issue, the first part came with the bottom, or like kind of the top part of Vader's helmet.
Yes.
And then some electronics and some things that go and attach them together. And there's these magazines that come with them. As you mentioned, I'm the chief writer on these. I'm writing all these. And there's going to be over 120 issues, right?
Yes.
And it is a very full Star Wars encyclopedia, purely focusing on dark side users of the Force, and then criminals, pirates, smugglers, scoundrels, ne'er-do-wells, any way you'd like to describe it. So you get every couple weeks, you get a model you get to keep working on, plus the magazine, which is beautiful, full color, and then instructions that are very easy. And this is where I'm the most excited because I'm also an educator. I'm also a high school teacher. And I know how hard it can be to try to teach people things. You want it to be challenging, but you also want it to be not so challenging that you just feel intimidated and can't do it. And somehow you and your team have made this perfect, beautiful blend of a good, fun challenge that isn't difficult and you enjoy it. I was so worried I wrote this magazine and I'm going to be some dork, some dope who can't build it. And I am building it. And by the time, as you said, when you're done, I'm going to have a 3 foot tall museum quality Darth Vader. It's the coolest thing, Luca. It's just so amazingly cool. I can't wait for people to get their hands on it if they aren't already subscribed now.
Yeah, I mean, when we challenge, when we sit down and start thinking about the development process for any new product like Darth Vader, and we have a few more exciting characters on the Star Wars line that are coming up in the next months. But we have, just two main things that is basically printed everywhere. So it's that those are the principles that we go by. And everybody knows in the company that it has to be easy to build. So no glue, no painting. It's basically screws and push and click. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, this simplicity in assembly doesn't have to come at the cost of details, intricacy, engineering, and more than anything else, faithfulness to the original character in the IP. So these are the two things. It has to be simple, but it has to be real. It has to be faithful. It has to be authentic.
It is very ornate, and I kept showing my wife, look at how detailed this is, and it's. And it really is gorgeous. I'm very excited about it. I do want to talk about Darth Vader naturally, but when I saw that you did the Falcon and R2D2 already, I was jealous. I didn't work on those, but I was like, I got to get these too. What is it like to design these iconic ships and droids and villains? That must be quite a daunting but exciting challenge.
Okay, so here, if you have a couple of minutes, just want to give you a little bit of background on the Agostini and Fanhome. We've been, as a company, we have a very long history of designing, creating, engineering, and producing these large-scale models. I think the first one that we made was either 1999 or 2000, and it was the 184 replica of the HMS Victory, tall ship that Nelson was on the Battle of Trafalgar, the Napoleonic Wars. And at the time, the product was launched in different markets in Europe, where the Agostini is still very active, UK, France, Italy, and it was like a tremendous, insane success. And the model basically was this like huge tall ship made of wood, brass, and cloth for the sails, and people just went crazy. Not just the modelers, not just the history buffs, but just the generic public. And the way that it was positioned, communicated, and developed, it was basically the beginning of that sentiment that I described before. So there's a narrative, there's a history behind, there is a myth behind. We make it real, you build it, so you become part of the dream. And it was clear, the Agostini was the first company to come up with that idea. They did invent the build-ups in subscription. And it was clear that from there, there was, the universe was it was a universe of possibilities. We went into die-cast cars, we went into die-cast war planes, and then at one point, with that experience, that over time was built into the company, that creative experience and skills, soft skills in designing and being able to imagine a large-scale model and break it down into 500 components, retro-engineering them so that anybody can easily assemble it. We went to, we said, okay, why don't we go to Lucasfilm? Why don't we go to, we do something Star Wars? And that's what happened. We went to Lucas and said, hey, we did this car, we did this Lamborghini. We want to do the same with Millennium Falcon. And at the beginning, they didn't take it very well. Just to be very polite, they were quite skeptical that we could do it. But we convinced them to provide us with material, with blueprints, shots of the props from the movie, whatever was left. It's never a lot with Lucas, and they were amazed by the final results. When we got the final approval for the pre-production samples, they were absolutely in awe. And that basically gave us, opened the door for the following models: the X-Wing, the R2D2, and now Darth Vader. But so it was a long process. We just didn't wake up one day and we said, sure, okay, we're gonna do a 1:2 scale gigantic model of Darth Vader. It was an incredible set of skills that was developed in the company over the course of 20 years.
Amazing. Wait, the Falcon itself, I keep coming back to because it's just my favorite starship.
It is beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Were there unique challenges to the Falcon that didn't exist with other things? Because there's just so many angles to it and there's so many pieces to it. I guess it's no different than a car, but maybe it is.
It's fantastic. It's one, if not my favorite model. But over the course of this the 20 years, at one point we and this probably was driven by the success of the Marvel movie franchises, starting with Iron Man. We thought there was an opportunity to apply once again these skills into a completely different set of products, and so that when the first character build-up or character model kit was thought, and the first was Iron Man that came out 2018, I think. Then we followed up with Optimus Prime. We did E.T. a couple of years ago, and now Darth Vader.
And did you do the DeLorean from Back to the Future as well?
So DeLorean was developed by another company that is no longer in business, was acquired by the Agostini. But yes, it's part of our catalog. Yes, it was another company called Eagle Moss.
Okay, fabulous. Well, let's talk about Darth Vader. Obviously, well, maybe it's not obvious to some fans, but the armor kind of goes over some tweaks over the years. But talk about the design process for Vader. Which version is this Fanhome version of Darth Vader?
This is from Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
Great. And what was the collaborative process like with the creation of this model kit?
So normally, we work with a company like Lucas, Disney now. They are. It's easy to imagine they're super protective of their intellectual property. So they want to make absolutely sure that everything is faithful, that no shortcuts, and that the final product is of good value for their fans, because that product has an impact also on their fan base. So normally the way that we work is the first contact point is we sit down with their creative team, and we try to come up with a list of everything that exists from the movies. So blueprints, props, design, set designs, samples, anything. In this particular case, there was very, very little. There are some very cool blueprints on yellowish paper and blue pencil, which are super cool. I've seen them, but not a lot of it. So some details, we had a lot of help coming from them, like the head, the helmet, but some others we had to rely on high quality screenshots and creative consulting from some of their show producer or a movie producer, and a lot of going back and forth with Lucas and Disney.
How long? What's the time frame from concept to let's start to creation and starting to make the models?
So from concept ideation to market, our average is between 18 months to 2 years.
Wow!
So it's a long process. So this first interactions basically produce a 3D digital mock-up, highly detailed, and that gets approved by the licensors, gets approved by the Lucasfilm. Once we have the approval, we go ahead with our manufacturing partners and our engineers, and we come up with a 3D prototype, either one or two. One goes straight to the licensor, goes straight to Lucas for approval. One we keep inside for photo shooting, for the early marketing activities. Normally, we hope there is not a lot of comments or backlash once they see the prototype for approval, because it will be let's say like a little bit of a headache going back to the drawing board. But normally we don't. The digital 3D file is highly detailed, so that's the number one hurdle, the biggest hurdle to get that approved. The prototype gets approved. We put together production lines, and we do early production samples. Those are finished, they're packed up, both in the final packaging and as loose product, sent again to Lucas for their final approval. And once we get that, we go on with manufacturing.
Wow. The work and the quality, I think, speaks for itself. We're talking about each individual kit. Is there sort of a time frame you have in mind of how long you would like each kit to last, or is it sort of understood that some will take longer than others?
Some take longer than others, but in general terms, the way that we design it is that our fans and customers have enough building material for 4 weeks. In the actual time is less than 4 weeks. We see that after the initial impact, it's quite easy to get your hands on and to become quite adept. So a lot of fans they choose to keep the different kits, to build a buffer, and then to have this like 1 or 2 week sessions in which they build 30% of the model, and they go all in. So it's the concept of, okay, do I wait every single episode every week, or do a weekend binging? And a lot of customers, they do binging build-ups with our models.
Because they don't want to wait that long. But theoretically, you could just enjoy one kit at a time, and maybe take an hour, a couple hours per kit, and then just enjoy the whole process.
Absolutely, yes.
So it's nice to have that option. It's like binging a television series. You can watch all of it.
For some models, we offer the possibilities. It's not always possible because of production constraints, but we offer like expedited options. For select models, you can choose to receive a small discount, double the amount of kits every month.
Oh.
So that you have more building material and you complete the project in less time.
That makes sense. The Darth Vader model, it not only does it museum quality, but it also, there are lights and sound effects. Talk about that if you would.
So it's a big model. It's 1:2 scale, so way over like 3 feet tall, and it's made of a combination of metal, die-cast metal, mostly for the skeleton inside, and then you have all the ABS and for the armor and the helmet and the components, and the clothing part, for the mantle and everything else. It has some amazing features. It's got LED lights on the belt, on the chest, and the lightsaber is highly articulated in the hands, legs, and arm, so that it can be posed, and you can choose the iconic pose where it summons the Dark Force, one of the subordinates that is not being too efficient, with the lightsaber. It has 2 sets of hands. This is actually a cool story that I wanted to tell you. We had to create 2 sets of hands because the hands are articulated, but we obviously wanted to have the red light lightsaber. So, but because the way that Disney now slices their licenses, it was impossible because that license was for somebody else, for a toy manufacturer. So what we decided to do is quite clever from our engineers. In the model, we have 2 sets of hands. One, which is, as I said, is articulated, so you can change the shape and of the hand. Another one is fixed, but it's the one where you can actually put the lightsaber in, and that basically got us over the obstacle of being able to include the lightsaber in the model. So
that's pretty neat. That's cool. A very it's efficient too, because fans figures now different scales come with multiple heads, multiple hands, because people like to pose.
Exactly.
And customize.
Right. So 2 more important, from this point of view, also it's important here, the helmet is removable, so you have Darth Vader head underneath that you also build through the process. And last but not least, it has voice effects. So there are motion proximity sensors that activate the these, a long list of phrases, some iconic ones. Yes, like you have failed me for the last time, stuff like that. But kind of cool.
Listening to Coffee with Kenobi, you are, with Dan Z, the podcast you're looking for. This is...
Friends listening, I cannot overestimate or oversell how gloriously exciting this product is. Because if you like the literature aspect of Star Wars, if you like the collecting part, if you like building, it encompasses all of those things. And plus it gives you, I know during COVID, we were, as parents, we were looking for things for our kids to do, get their minds active and interact. But so this is something you can do certainly by yourself, or you can do it with your friends and your family. I picture, and I have the first couple of kids I built with my 11-year-old, and we had the best time.
So yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's a family experience. It's a fan experience. As I said, it's this mix of of the narrative, of the love for the story, and the hands-on experience of putting together the story in 3D in the final product.
And it absolutely speaks for itself. Well, Luca, it's been an absolute pleasure and a delight to speak with you.
Thank you very much, Dan. Very nice meeting you. And I hope to see you in person. And thank you very much for the amazing work. It's the editorial content on the Darth Vader collection from Fanhome is fantastic. It's really appealing. And thanks again.
Well, I'm very grateful for that. I appreciate that very much. It's been so fun. Please, friends, go to fanhome.com, and this is where you can find not only the Darth Vader, build your own Darth Vader, but many, many other incredible subscription kits that you are just going to fall in love with. Luca, again, my friend, thank you so much for coming on Coffee with Kenobi.
Thank you very much.
And just like that, our journey through the galaxy for today has come to a close. Thank you so much to Luca for joining me here at Coffee with Kenobi, the place where thoughtful Star Wars conversation pairs perfectly with your favorite cup of coffee. Whether you're on the go, relaxing at home, or sipping caffeine at your favorite corner of the galaxy, I'm truly grateful you chose to spend your day with me. And no, I didn't forget about Andor Season 2. I just wanted to share this interview with Luca because I'm really excited. Of course, I'm biased because I got to work on this, but I'm really excited about the Build Your Own Darth Vader kit. It's really cool, really challenging. I'm halfway through the third kit right now. And, I want you to hopefully sign up so you can help me build this thing. I mean, it's really fun, but it's a really good challenge, and I really think you're going to love it. For all things Star Wars news, reviews, videos, and more, head to our home base, coffeewithkenobi.com. And a special thank you to our official travel partner, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. Looking to plan your next magical vacation to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, or even a Disney cruise? Want to explore Galaxy's Edge or attend Star Wars Celebration? Becky Mankin and her team will get you there with a no-cost, no-obligation quote and the kind of peace of mind we all appreciate. Learn more at coffeewithkenobi.com/mousefantravel. Don't forget to join the CWK Cafe on Facebook at coffeewithkenobi.com/community, our family-friendly, spoiler-free group for all your Star Wars thoughts, comments, and conversation. This podcast is possible thanks to the incredible support of the CWK Alliance. To help keep the show brewing, for as little as $1 a month, you can join the CWK Alliance and get access to CWK Pour-Over, our exclusive weekly audio and video podcast. All-Star and Grand Master members can even get more exclusive content, including a monthly live video call with yours truly. Learn more at coffeewithkenobi.com/CWK Alliance. And know this, 10% of your monthly support goes directly to the St. Jude Children's Hospital. Want to connect? You can email me at danz@coffeewithkenobi.com. Follow me on X at Mr. Zehr, Instagram and Threads at Dan Zehr. Dan Zehr, is that my name? Yeah, Dan Zehr CWK. I'm also on LinkedIn. You can follow Coffee with Kenobi across social media on X, Instagram, Threads, Pinterest, Blue Sky, and give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/coffeewithkenobi. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you'll find over 700 videos, including past live shows, events, and this podcast. Take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It really helps more Star Wars fans find our little corner of the galaxy. Do you need a speaker for your next event? Visit danzmedia.com. I love to talk mythology, leadership, storytelling, or tailor something unique for your audience. Be sure to grab your CWK gear at coffeewithkenobi.com/shop and show your support in style. Finally, thank you again for joining me for this virtual cup of coffee. I'm Dan Zehr, and this is the podcast you're looking for.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.